Casual here. In this video I'm going to do a deep dive into the character class trees that have just been announced, looking at the synergies and also which classes might go well together with the new multi-class option. Let's get into it. The Brr-Zerker's class feed is Rage of Ancients, which grants you Enraged when an action skill is used, adding frost damage to your attacks. The duration of this can be extended through using action skills. The Brr-Zerker's class tree is one of the simplest in the game in that it focuses on one thing, being able to deal damage and heal up close and personal with enemies. Close range and melee damage, your movement and attack speed, reload and weapon swap speeds can all be increased through Savagery, the Old Ways, Instinct and Iron Squall. This class looks like it will be a great class for new players as it has a ton of healing options. Unyielding adds health regeneration, Blood Frenzy, health restore on kill, Unarmored Defense and Ancient Fury increase maximum health, and Relentless Rage and Extended save your soul if you deal damage to an enemy. On top of that, Enraged adds crowd control, which can also buff your damage through Ancestral Frost and Icebreaker. It's clear that being able to spam action skills will be very beneficial to this class, and so it's no surprise that the ultimate skill in your class tree, Blood of the Fallen, reduces the cooldown of these on every kill. Other classes have skills early in their class trees that also benefit this. The Clawbringer's Dedication, SporeWarden's Bounty of the Hunt, and SpellShot's Font of Mana. Graveborn has some useful buffs to health and health regen that could be beneficial. SpellShot to reload speed and fire rate. With the Stabbomancer, its buffs in its early tiers and its class feat are good for pretty much every class, so if you want a solid general secondary class, this looks like a good one to go for. The Graveborn has a Demi-Leech companion for its class feat, which deals ranged dark magic, including the deviously named Hellish Blast. Its class tree is split into two, with half on buffing your abilities and half on buffing your companions. Buffs to your character includes health and health regen to offset the health drain effects of your action skills through Mortal Vessel, Sanguine Sacrament and Ascension. Buffs to your dark magic damage, spell damage and spell cooldowns through Essence Drain, Dark Pact, Stain of the Soul, Lord of the Edges and Blast Grasp. Buffs to your Demi-Leech companion include buffs to their damage and respawn rate through Faithful Thralls and Harvest, and even with Dark Hydra, the chance to summon an additional companion on a kill. The Graveborn does have more on-kill skills than any class, which might make it a tougher class to play when up against bosses, particularly with the health drain aspect of your action skills. So while the SpellShot is the obvious secondary class to run with Graveborn with its buffs to spell damage and cooldowns, there are some other great options including Brr-Zerker's health regeneration and SporeWarden's companion buffs. Morhaime's Blessing also adds an interesting twist to picking up on-kill skills, making picking up spell cooldown rate reduction from SpellShot's Font of Mana or the easy to pick up on-kill skill Bounty of the Hunt from the SporeWarden viable options. Speaking of the SporeWarden, its Mushroom Companion looks to be one of the more controllable and useful companions in the game. You can ping an enemy to attack with the shroom. It will try to revive if you go down through medicinal mushroom, and Spore Cloud adds the envious ability to taunt enemies into a fart cloud that will poison them. Who wouldn't want that as a skill? The other aspect of the SporeWarden's class tree is buffs to range damage, whether through action skills Barrage and Blizzard or through buffs to gun damage via Eagle Eye, Quiver of Holding, Windrunner and Cooled Shot. As you go deeper into the class tree, critical hits can be made more and more powerful through Thrill of the Hunt, Headhunter and its ultimate Play the Angles, which gives critical hits the chance to ricochet to multiple enemies. This makes Stabbomancer a good option for a secondary class with its buff to critical hit chance through its class feat and potentially its status effect damage buffs. Graveborn and Clawbringer with their companions would also seem to be a good choice, and in particular the Graveborn's Faithful Thralls is tailor-made for the twin companion Fatemaker. Finally, with Blizzard doing frost damage, you might want to go for Ancestral Frost from the Brr-Zerker, which can be picked up very easily. The other close range class is the Clawbringer, which has a Wyvern companion which can deal melee or range damage. Its class tree includes buffs to its ward, its shield as it was in Borderlands, through Radiance, damage reduction through Rebuke, which also buffs allies with lightning damage, and if you go deep enough into the class tree, Indomitable, a revive mechanic which also buffs your damage output with lightning damage as well. The rest of the class tree alternates between buffing fire or lightning damage, which aligns with its action skills, either directly or through its companion, through Oath of the Fire, Oath of Thunder, Blasphemous Favour, Firebolt, Friend to Flame, Storm Breath and its ultimate Storm Smite. All of these are buffed by Dragon Aura. A lot of the skills in the Clawbringer's class tree are buffs to its companion, and so Graveborn and SporeWarden may well be the best secondary classes for the buffs that they bring. But this does look like a class that you might just want to go deep into and pick up a secondary class for its class feats rather than skills. The SpellShot's class tree looks to have incredible synergy around its class feat Spell Weaving. Whenever you cast a spell or reload a gun, you create a stack of Spell Weaving which decays after a few seconds. Each stack of Spell Weaving increases spell damage. This can be buffed further through Mage Armor to restore a portion of its ward. Just warming up increases the fire rate of weapons. One slot, one kill increases gun damage, and high thread count increases the maximum number of possible stacks. Clearly, to get the most out of this, you want to be casting spells and reloading your weapons as much as possible. So it's great that you can do buff cooldowns in your class tree through Prestidigitation and Font of Mana. Warcaster is also an interesting one, and whether this instant reload also creates a spell weaving stack or not. This class is shaping up to be a very active one, swapping between spells and guns to create spell weaving stacks, as well as triggering imbued weapon and through Sever the Thread the possibility to reset all spell cooldowns. While you can buff spell crit hit chance through Spell Sniper, increasing the chance to proc double knot, this might be a good class to pair with Stabbomancer for the increased critical hit chance that comes with its class feat, increasing the chance that Sever the Thread procs. In the same way that SpellShot's class tree synergizes around spell weaving, the Stabbomancer's skill tree synergizes around its role as a fast-moving nimble assassin. Its class feat Dirty Fighting increases critical hit chance. Arsenal, Follow Up, Nimble Fingers, Shadow Step, Sneak Attack, Thousand Cuts, and Executioner's Blade all increase damage output. Haste, Swift Death and Elusive make you faster and hit harder when moving. Any rogue worth its salt is a master of poisons, and the Stabbomancer brings this to the table through potent poisons. Exploit their weakness, Contagion, Alchemical Agent. You really have the option here to go all out for big damage, swapping between guns, spells and melee, or for hit and run using status effects to take down your foes. Brr-Zerker could be a good complement for the former, with savagery, the old ways and instinct all working well, while the poison damage of SporeWarden's companion and its buffs to gun damage through Eagle Eye and Bullseye may work best with the latter. I hope this video has given you a few ideas about which class you'll be starting with as your main when Tiny Tina's Wonderlands launches later this month. And if you want to find out more about the game, check out this video here. Till next time, casual out.